may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, guys, I really want to thank y'all. Y'all showed so much support on the past 2 videos, dropping likes, leaving comments, subscribing to the channel. It truly helps us out, I promise y'all that. And also, went down to the comment section to read what y'all were saying as always, and it was consensus. What y'all wanted is y'all wanted me to talk about some closers who are coming through with saves so far this year. And no, these are not going to be exactly guys that you can get on the waiver wire in every league. Some of these players, maybe if you really are desperate for trades and you believe in them, then you can go out there and send some trade offers. They're tending to be available in about 10 to 25% of leagues. So I guess if you're playing in shallower formats, maybe you're playing in a league where people aren't paying attention, then yeah, you can pick them up. But if you're playing in an NFC league where the dues are $1,000, first off, I have to say, this is the wrong video for you. You know more than I do. I promise you that. You need to be coming on this screen. You need to be showing me what's up. And also, obviously, these players aren't going to be available because those formats are a lot deeper, combined with the fact that every single player in that league is grinding through the waiver wire. So I can almost guarantee you that none of these players will be there for you. But outside of that, really all I have to say is drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and let's get into it. And our first closer is going to be Julian Merryweather, someone that not a lot of people expected to be getting the saves for the Toronto Blue Jays this year. He is still available in 22% of leagues, but obviously that wasn't the case at the beginning of the season. That is based on so many people going through and picking him up throughout this week. 29 years old, so kind of a player that came out of nowhere, I want to say, because you look through his career and really the only time he's played in the major league was 2020 and 2021. So y'all know if we don't have that kind of sample size, what we want to be doing is we need to be looking for something. We just can't come out and we can't base everything off the 2 games he's pitched this year. So what we're having to do is we're having to go to the minors. And if we're going to the minors, instead of looking at just his entire minor league career, that is kind of going to be skewed because we understand, hey, some of those games were played a decade ago. That has no effect on what you're going to be expecting now. So I would prefer just to look at the category of the minor league where he has the largest sample size, and that's actually going to be the AA. And back then, to no surprise for anyone, he wasn't even a closer. He was a starting pitcher and wasn't starting consistently in the rotation, which is surprising. But he did manage to pitch 124 innings, and kind of impressive here. I will say that if we were just looking at him as a starting pitcher, not someone that would be worth picking up, because in those 124 innings pitched, we know starting pitchers, what you want a lot of the times is you want that elite strikeout per inning ratio, where he only had 113 strikeouts in this sample. So less than 1 strikeout an inning, really not what you're wanting as a starting pitcher. But great thing is, he's no longer a starting pitcher. We go through, more importantly, what we're going to be wanting to look at now is his whip, because we know that is definitely going to make an impact on what he is going to be doing in terms of the amount of opportunities he sees in 2021. And his whip was a decent number. He had it down there at 1.11, ERA at 3.68. But I want to remind everyone, this is AA. This is not the big leagues. Now, if we go to the big leagues, even in 2020, last year, they utilized him as a starting pitcher in some scenarios where he actually started 3 games as it's listed, but I don't exactly know how this was done. Maybe he only started the game for an inning or 2, kind of just to make sure that the real starting pitcher coming into the game was going to be set up nicely, and maybe he could just go through the rest of the outing. But in those 3 games started, he only had a total of 13 innings pitched, and he ended up seeing action in 8 total games. So a very weird year where they were pretty much coming in, using him situationally, and maybe just to get a hitter out at the top of the lineup, or maybe just to come in occasionally to target certain matchups. But anyway, in those 8 games, 13 innings pitched, he had 15 strikeouts, which is a little bit encouraging. But like I said, this sample is so small, you really can't draw anything from it, combined with the fact that the whip was at 1.3, so not necessarily fantastic. But what's important, and why we are talking about him now, is the fact that he started off 2021 extremely hot. I mean, he's had 2 games finished so far. You know, that is going to be pretty much the number 1 stat that you want to look for when we're trying to identify these closers that can rack up saves. In those 2 games finished, he only pitched 2 innings, and he completed both of them with saves, 5 total strikeouts to go along with this, not allowing a single runner on base. So, extremely impressive start. You have to think that he's going to continue to get looks if he continues with anything close to this type of performance. But let me know what y'all think of Julian Merryweather down in the comment section below, because obviously we don't have a lot of data to look at. Okay, so let's pull up our next closer, who we actually have a ton of data to look at. This is going to be Mark Melancon, who was not being drafted in fantasy drafts this year. And it's surprising. I mean, a closer for the San Diego Padres. We understand that this is a team that should win a lot of games. We know that you want the closer in this team. Also, 36 years old. So like I said, we have a very large sample size. And I mean, it's kind of crazy to look through his major league career. He's played for the Yankees, the Astros, the Red Sox, the Pirates, the Washington, Giants, Braves, and now the Padres. So he's been around. You have the sample on what to expect. Obviously, the most relevant sample, though, is actually going to be 2019 for a couple of reasons. A, it was a full season. B, it's the closest full season that we have. And C, it's also a season that you didn't have just crazy things happening all around. So in 2019, he was pitching for the Braves, so a little bit of a different situation here. But he had 34 games finished. Obviously, that's ideal. 67 innings pitched, 68 strikeouts to go along with this. A whip down there at 1.32, only 12 saves, but what's more important is the fact that the whip was pretty low and he had a ton of games finished. So maybe if he just had some more run support, maybe if he was on a better team like the Padres, then you'd expect that saves number to be a little bit higher. And in 2020, you see him regress slightly, where he has 19 games finished. So that's extremely impressive considering the shortened season. 22 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts, a whip right under 1.3, and 11 saves. So now, going to a better team, it looks like he's going to be getting a ton of chances to close out games, because so far in 2021, he's already had 3 games finished. He's pitched 4 innings. His whip is down there at 0.25. He's had 3 strikeouts, and all 3 games finished, he's come through his saves. So he's only available in about 20% of leagues. Not really going to be someone you can go out there and pick up anywhere. But if you want to trade for him, if you're desperate for some saves, this could be an option you look at. Okay, so now let's pull up our last pitcher. Pitcher for Minnesota, and Alex. He's only available in 10% of leagues, 32 years old, and he actually was drafted in drafts. I'm assuming that's why his availability is down there at 10% compared to the 20 and 22% for the players we previously talked about. But you understand why he was drafted in drafts, because if we go back and we do the same exact thing that we just did and we look at that full 2019 year, in 2019, we ended up seeing 54 games played, and with those 54 games finished, he actually came through with 30 total saves, 61 innings pitched, 55 strikeouts, but more importantly, a whip down there at 1.06. So you can understand why he's going to continue to get opportunity to close out games. And in 2020, it was more so the same thing. You had 18 games finished, 22 innings pitched, 12 saves. The strikeouts were down a little bit, but it's such a small sample that doesn't matter. What I'd rather see is the games finished. I want to see the fact that he is getting the opportunity, which he still has been in 2021, with 2 games finished so far, 2 total saves, 4 innings pitched, a whip below 1. I know it's a small sample. I understand that. But still, you want to see the fact that he's getting opportunity. He is performing when he's getting that opportunity, so we can project it to stay there for the time being. Now, thank you guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. Of course, if y'all did, go down there, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, that should be it. I will see y'all with the video tomorrow. If you want to see anything in particular with the video tomorrow, make sure you leave a comment on this one telling me what it is you would like to see.